Hey guys, I'm Steph. I'm the part of some producer and I got a lot of papers in cut out and let you know.
It's all right, Steph. Was the feed working? Yeah, it was. I couldn't see it. So I think you probably have to put that other one as a guest, maybe. I don't know.
I did see it on Facebook and that was it.
Yeah, it just cut off, didn't it? Really, really quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to ask me any questions, Steph? You can ask me now and I can just try and answer them off the top of my head. I know you're trying to get the, yeah. Oh, here it is. Oh, there it is. So, I don't know how it's worked, but anyway, Natalie isn't here with me today because she's actually out and about at a Christmas party. So she's having Christmas drinks with her friends. Okay, so being a mum of a disabled daughter, well, an able daughter really, Natalie has taught me so much in life just about dealing with what you have and making the most and running with it. Natalie has had numerous difficulties all through her lifetime. She's had from a month-old.
Hey guys, I don't know what.
Okay, so as I was saying, she has.
Sorry.
That's all right. Maybe put up a point and then I answer it and come back to your face because that's all right. I can explain it to you. So when Natalie was little, she was actually diagnosed very, very early with her syndrome. She has Rubinstein-Davies syndrome. That's the diagnosis 39 years ago now. She's 39 years old. had a lot of breathing difficulties. Her features were quite narrow. So when we were feeding and stuff like that, she was only 4 pound born. So she was a tiny little bubba. And she was just like having a little preemie baby. Anyway, she came home, and she was home for a month, and she got double pneumonia. And we lived in a country town at the time, and it was very, very difficult for us to get any real help. So they put her in the local base hospital, and from there they decided to leave her there for quite some time, and she ended up getting really seriously ill, and we had to rush her to Brisbane. She was rushed to Brisbane, and they saved her, basically saved her life. And from that day forward, my life has been a different one. 21 years old, and dealing with a child with lots of needs. My other child, my son, he actually was affected. My husband. I had a wonderful mother-in-law who we only lost this year. She supported us through it all. She was amazing. Sorry. In those days, the services were really, really not there. I would love to see a team of people that, if there is a person that has a child with special needs or abilities, that mother actually gets support from people, because that's probably one of the things that I really felt my daughter didn't get. That one-to-one care that I needed and she needed. I guess the strategy, Steph, would be that live each moment to the fullest. When you know something's wrong with your child or your adult, last year, Natalie had been very, very ill. She was getting to the point where she couldn't breathe properly, and we were having all sorts of dramas backwards and forwards to doctors. It turns out that she's actually had severe sleep apnea. So my husband and I paid for a machine straight away. She had 70 apneas an hour during her sleep. She's gone down to 2 apneas an hour now. So I guess as a mother, you know when something's wrong, and you don't let someone tell you, oh no, they'll be right. You demand, what's best for that person. And I guess Natalie's taught me all of these skills, that if you know you're right, you go with it. You don't have to be nasty. You don't have to be a terrible person, but you just have to be assertive. And for me, I actually worked for her first probably 20 years. It's only in the last maybe 10 years that I've given up work. I was a full-time worker. I worked at Myer for almost 20 years, and then I went into banking, and I was in banking for about 10 years. Both fairly high-pressure jobs, but have learnt, amazing skills. So for me, Natalie has had all sorts of people in her life. She's a social butterfly. She loves people. She has a carer at the moment, or a support worker that assists her, that comes from Holland. And what would I like to see implemented in the world of disability? It's hard to say. NDIS is trying, but NDIS, they're putting all the eggs in one basket, and I don't think that is a true fit. I think there needs, it's hard. What works for one doesn't necessarily work for another. So that is the hard thing when it comes to implementing something that's a blanket, one size fits all. It's not like that. Do you know what, Steph? When I was having Natalie, I was elated that I was having another baby. Prenatal, like pre-birth, I knew that there was something wrong. The doctor that I had a very very good female doctor in Mount Isa where I lived, and she had done all sorts of tests and things, and she said, look, all I can tell you is there's something not right. We can't tell you what it is. We won't know until the birth, but your child is very, very small. Had Natalie stopped growing from about 6 months, I think it was, in vitro. So we knew she was quite small, and we knew that, you know, we were going to have changes in our lives, I guess. But I wouldn't change the journey that I've been on. You know, we all have our days where we go, oh, shit, you know, this is just, I'm over it kind of thing, you know. I have an amazing husband he absolutely adores Natalie. She's got him absolutely wrapped around his little thing, you know, her little finger. She says jump and he says, how high, my darling? She has got obsessive compulsive, so she goes through probably about 10 to 12, maybe about 10 DVD players a year, because she is compulsively clicking buttons. She needs full personal care, one-on-one. So if I'm not here, my husband helps her with everything. We have an amazing respite in place, but that's all going to change with NDIS. So that's pressure on the families that have been supporting and have had things in place for many, many years, and all of that is going to change. So, yeah, I think for me it was, I love her, I don't care. I'm taking this bundle home, and then begin my journey. So, you know, you do what you do. It's not a burden when you love your child. It's not a burden. So you just, as a mother, you just do it. And you learn along the way. There's things probably that we could have done differently, as in a sheltered workshop. I don't think I would ever have done that to Natalie had I known what I know now. And there's things that you learn, you know, along the way. But the thing for me is that the challenges are, there's always someone there to help support you. But growing as a family, growing personally, has been my biggest gift from Natalie. Natalie is my greatest joy. Yep. Any more questions, Steph? We're frozen. Like I told you, Steph, I can talk. You're very welcome. I am so proud of you, Steph. You've done an amazing job. This is love what you've done. Bye, everyone.